I'm Vanessa with Evolution Pro Fitness, presenting Office Recess. These are 15 to 20-minute workouts that working professionals like you can do safely in your office, conference room, or hotel room with little to no equipment. So no matter what your career path is, we're all busy. Oftentimes, as adults, our health is put on a back burner as we're busy with social, family, or work commitments. So remember when we were kids and we were actually required to go outside every day and play? Why should this be any different in our adult lives? Our health now is no less important than it was when we were 8 years old. So whether you're a multitasker attending meetings, client lunches and conferences, a frequent work traveler with no access to a gym, or a stay-at-home parent juggling play dates, soccer practice, and PTA meetings, Office Recess will provide you with the tools you need to stay healthy every day. Okay, today we're going to be focusing on the muscles of the posterior chain. These are your traps, your rhomboids, your lats, your glutes, your hamstrings, and your calves. Oftentimes these muscles get underdeveloped and underworked from sitting or inactivity. So it's really important to strengthen them so your body can work up against posture all day and support your spine. Okay, so the first exercise is flies. This targets your rhomboids and your traps, and oftentimes these are the muscles around your shoulder blades that oftentimes get internally rotated from sitting for too long. So it's really important to strengthen them to pull your shoulder blades back and to help develop good posture. So what you want to do here is a very simple movement. You don't need a lot of weight. First, you're going to stand straight up, pull your shoulder blades down and back. You're going to bend at your hips so you get into like a little quarter squat. We want a slight bend in your knees. From here, you're going to externally rotate your hands and your shoulders, and you can even stick your thumbs out. From here, you're very slowly going to pull your shoulder blades in towards your spine and then lower back down. Now, this is not a quick movement, so if you find your hips moving up and down like this as you do it, it's wrong. You need to just make sure you're locking them here and focusing on those really small muscles in between your shoulder blades. What I like to do is I actually like to imagine that there's an egg between my shoulder blades and I'm trying to crack it every time I squeeze back. Nice and slow. We really want to develop and make sure we're targeting those muscles and not swinging into the movement. Okay, so I understand you're in your office when you're doing this and you don't want to take too much time doing it. So what you should do is about 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions. Again, really slowing them down, focus on squeezing your shoulder blades back and targeting the correct muscles. Okay, so the second exercise we're going to focus on are planks. These target the deep muscles of your core, which actually help your body stabilize all day against gravity and help your posture. So oftentimes people think that your core is just your rectus abdominis, which are the front muscles, but it's actually your obliques, your lower back, your hamstrings, and your hips as well. So this movement targets all of them and can hold a contraction for much longer because remember, it's a postural muscle. It has to be active all day. Okay, so from this position, I'm going to walk myself out. It's almost like the top of a push-up. From here, my wrists are in line with my shoulders. I'm pulling my elbows into my sides so my biceps are facing forward and my fingers are also facing forward. Now, what I'm doing is I'm squeezing not only my core, but also my butt, which is my glutes, and my quads, and that's helping me form a straight line all the way from my shoulders to my feet. Now, eye position is really important here because we want to keep your neck neutral. So oftentimes with planks and push-ups, people start to turn their head and their eyes towards their feet, which takes your neck out of neutral. So just look straight down in front of you. Again, squeezing your quads, your glutes, and your core, and hold this position. Okay, so when you're starting out with planks, a good target to have or goal is a 2-minute plank hold. If that's too much, you can always do progressions. So that would be doing 30 seconds at a time and then with some rest. So you could rest for 30 seconds or you could rest for a minute, then do another set of 30 seconds, always focusing on keeping everything really tight and stable and making sure your hips are in a locked position. Okay, so now we're going to show you a regression for the plank hold if a regular plank is too difficult for you. So remember, our starting position is here. If this is too difficult, all you're going to do is you're going to keep your wrists in line with your shoulders and your hips are still going to be extended, but now your knees are going to be on the mat and your feet are going to be crossed. Again, we want to keep our eyes forward and our neck neutral. Now, if this is too difficult, you can further go down onto your forearms. Again, making sure that your elbows are in line with your shoulders and your eyes are down, neck is neutral, and your hips are still extended. Okay, so the last exercise we're going to focus on are hip raises, which target the muscles of your glutes and your hamstrings and your lower back, also known as your lumbopelvic hip complex, which is, again, just like a plank, it's part of your core. Okay, so our starting position is supine, which is actually the opposite of how we were for the plank with your stomach facing down. So now your stomach's going to be facing up. Points of contact, your feet are touching the floor, your hips are touching the floor, knees are bent, and then we lower down so that our back and our shoulders are touching the floor, and then our hands are slightly out to the side to help support us with our palms facing down. Now from here, we're going to use our breath to help guide the movement. We're going to inhale at the bottom, and then exhale up, and as we exhale, we're going to squeeze our glutes and our hamstrings, pausing at the top, and then slowly lowering down without letting our hips slam against the ground. So again, inhaling at the bottom, exhale up, squeezing at the top, lowering back down. Okay, in terms of sets and repetitions for your hip raises, you're going to do 3 sets at 10 to 12 repetitions with about 30 seconds break in between, because we know you guys need to get back to work. Okay, so this concludes the first episode of Office Recess. I'm Vanessa with Evolution Pro Fitness. Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you back for future episodes.